Terry with Good Dog Coaching and Pet Care, and I'm here with Bailey. Bailey is one of our board and trained. She's a 3-year-old giant schnauzer, and so we've done a few videos on here. She's been here for, it'll be 2 weeks tomorrow. And so today we're going to start her on the remote collar training. So up to this point, we've been working with her on all the basic commands: sit, down, place, heel, coming when called, all of that stuff on leash and collar, using food training to teach her those things. So she's doing really well, and so we're going to start to introduce her to the remote collar system. So, you know, some people don't know, what a remote collar is, or they've never even heard of it, an e-collar, or whatever you want to call it. Don't know really anything about it. And the way I like to describe it is basically it's like an invisible leash. It's there when you need it, right? So just like if I were to pull on this leash, when I pull on the leash, she feels something. She feels the sensation of me pulling the leash, right? When we start training them, what we do is we find their working level, which is the level at which they just feel something from the collar. They just begin to feel something. It's just a sensation. And so, just again, it doesn't feel like this, but it feels different, but it's just a sensation. So we're going to pair that with what we've already taught her to teach her. Basically, it means the same as the leash. It's a way for us to reinforce what we've taught her, okay? Up to this point, we've done it with this leash, an actual leash, right? And food. And so what we're going to do to start out, so she's got her remote collar on. I have the remote. And the first thing I'm going to do is going to prime the command. I'm going to start with the sit command. Priming it just means not going to use this, just going to do some reps, some drills of the sit command, just to kind of get her in the mindset of, oh, hey, we're working on sit right now, all right? Then what I'm going to do is take the word away, and I'm going to press the button and hold, and then if she needs it, which she probably will, because she won't know what that means, I'm going to help her with the leash and guide her into position. When her butt hits the ground, I'm going to say yes and give her some food, okay? I'm going to repeat that over and over until all I have to do is press and hold the button and she sits down. In other words, at that point, she's beginning to understand that that sensation that she's feeling means the same as if I were to pull up on the leash. So, because that's how we taught her sit to begin with, was pulling up on the leash means for her to sit down. So I'll show you that just so you can see what I'm talking about. Break, good girl. So if I pull up on the leash, yes, you see that she knows that means to sit down, okay? So I want to get to that point with the remote also for her to know if we're in the context of working on sit, if you feel that sensation that she's going to learn about, that means to sit, okay? Now eventually, yes, I'm going to add the command back in, right? So let's get to that point to start. So at this point, I have not even found her working level. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to start down low, just starting on 2, and I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to prime the command. So what I was talking about before, no remote, simply like how we normally do it. Break, good. Sit, yes. Okay, so at this point, don't usually need to use the leash. I just say the command and she knows to sit, right? Break, sit, yes. Break, sit, yes. This is just to get her in the mindset of, hey, we're working on sit right now, okay? Break, sit, yes. Break, sit, yes. Right, so she understands sit means to sit down. She also understands sit means to sit and stay. We teach all the commands with an implied stay. So sit means sit and stay. I don't have to say stay. Break, sit, yes. Break, sit, yes. So I'm going to do it a few more times and I'm going to start using the remote. Good girl. Break, sit, yes. Break, sit, yes. Good girl. All right, so now I'm going to take the word away and I'm gonna press and hold the button and help her out with the leash because she doesn't know what that means. And actually at 2, she might not even feel anything. So at this point, I'm trying to find the level at which she just feels something. So break. I'm pressing and holding, yes. Now also sit's pretty easy. So when I say break and then I stop, I take a step and I stop, she also knows that when I stop, she's supposed to sit. So we're gonna just kind of get her going a little bit, and then I'll be doing it while I'm traveling, basically, while I'm moving. Break. Hold it, yes. So each time I do this, I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna do it a couple times at 2, then I'm gonna go up to 3, then I do a couple times there, then I'm gonna go up to 4. And there's some physical cues that you can tell watching your dog when they notice something, they feel something. They're kind of like, hey, where's that coming from? Break. Yes. Break. Yes. Okay, so going up to 3. Break. We got a little bit of a distraction. Yes. Break. Yes. Break. Yes. Girl. Break. Yes. So I'm going up to 4. Break. Helping her out with the leash a little. Yes. Girl. Break. Yes. Okay, so when I hit the button right there, she kind of stopped in her tracks. And so that might mean we're going to do it a few more times. I'm just at 4. Typically the number is 10 or below their working level. So I'm going to try it a few more times. And right now, again, remember, if I don't see instant action, I'm helping her with the leash a little bit. But I want to get to where if I just press the button, she does the thing, and I haven't needed to do the leash. I'm going to do that over and over to make sure that she's, getting the fact that, oh, I feel that, it needs to sit. Break. Yes. Break. Yes. So I'm trying to keep moving a little bit so I haven't stopped, because me stopping can cause her to sit, because that's kind of what she's been taught. That's what she's been taught. Break. Good girl. I want to make sure that she's actually noticing something. Giving her a little help. Yes. With the leash. Break. Yes. Good girl. So 4 might be it. Break. Yes. Break. Yes. Okay. Did you see that? I was moving. As soon as I hit the button, she went boom. So she's starting to figure out, oh, hey, when I feel that, it means to sit. Okay? I'm going to do it a few more times. Break. Good girl. Yes. I'm not using the leash at all. Break. Good girl. Yes. She's a smart girl. Break. Yes. Good girl. So she's figuring out, what she's learning is that she feels that when she sits down, it goes away. Okay? Again, it's important to know that it doesn't hurt. It's just a sensation. Again, if I do this, it doesn't hurt. It's just a sensation, right? So it's the same thing. There's a lot of misconceptions about remote collar training. And so it's important to know that we're not trying to hurt the dog, okay? We're training them at this level. Good. And teaching them about the remote collar, okay? So I'm going to do this a few more times, then I'm going to add the command back in, but I'm not going to use the remote. The only time I will then use the remote is when I give the command and she doesn't do the thing I'm asking for, and she'll feel, oh, it's just like when we began leash training. You know, we start the leash training with, we don't say the command, we get them into position with food and the leash over and over and over. Once they're doing it well, then we attach the command to the thing they're doing well, right? We would say sit and then leash guidance. Repeat, sit and then leash guidance, sit and then leash guidance. So, and then after that, we would just go to saying the command. And anytime she didn't, we would then add leash guidance, okay? So, break. It's the same thing. Yes. Girl. I said yes a little early. Her butt wasn't quite on the ground yet. Break. So I'm going to help her out with the leash. Yes. Good girl. Right? So this is totally not what people think remote collar training is like. I mean, those that don't know, or those that think it's terrible, horrible, inhumane, whatever. Break. Yes. Good girl. Break. Yes. Good girl. Break. Yes. Good girl. Okay, so now I'm going to proceed on. I'm going to start adding the command back in. And again, of course, you know, we've been working with her for a couple weeks on these commands. She knows the command. So most of the time, she's going to do it, right? And when she doesn't, we're just going to say, no, and press and hold the button. She's going to be like, oh, I know what that means. That'd be just like if we said no and used a little bit of leash guidance, okay? This is the beginning of remote collar training. This is where we're going to spend a lot of time, most of the time, actually. Break. And yes, towards the end of her time here, we'll start teaching her about corrections. And corrections are basically holding her accountable for the things that we've taught her very fairly, have done thousands and thousands of repetitions of these things, and she knows what she needs to do. That doesn't mean they're always going to do it. You know, up until that point, there haven't been any consequences for them breaking command or blowing off the command. We just repeat the command and guide them back. So, you know, we're going to hold her accountable for what she's been very fairly taught, basically. And that's where you get real reliability out of your dog in terms of them doing the thing that you have asked of them, all right? And it's important because, hey, it can be a lifesaver. Your dog can be running that way, headed towards a street or something, and you're calling it back. And if you haven't taught it that, hey, you have to listen to me, it could get hit by a car, it could get lost, it could get, you know, in a fight with another dog, you name it. So we need them to know they need to listen to us no matter whether they feel like it or they don't feel like it, right? So, all right, so I'm gonna start adding the command back in. Break. Good girl. Sit. Yes. Okay, so no remote, just the command. And, you know, she's really good, so we'll see. She might not do it. She might not sit. Let's see. Also, she does like to try to go into a down from a sit, okay? So that's something also. She starts to go into the down, I'm gonna say sit, I'm gonna press and hold the button, and if she needs it, give her some leash guidance to help her come back into that sit. Break. Good girl. Sit. Yes. Break. Sit. Yes. Break. Sit. Yes. Okay, so I'm also going to add in things that we've already done. Stepping away, adding distractions. Yes. Right. I am actually trying to get her to move out of position so that I can teach her more about the remote. Yes. Yes. Good girl. Break. Good girl. Hey. Sit. Yes. Yes. No. Sit. Good. Yes. Yes. So right there, when I had made a little smoochy sound, which I'm going to do again here. No, sit, good. So when you hear me say no, right after that I press and hold the button, I repeat the command, and when her bottom hits the ground, I say good. If I said yes, I think I said yes. I meant to say good. After her breaking command, I would say good, not yes. Because I'm not going to give her food right away after she broke command. But I always say good. And then I can move around a little more. Yes. Girl. Come over here and turn on the light. There we go. Yes. Right. But I'm going to make that smoochy sound again because that caused her, which we've worked on that before, that caused her to break command. No, sit. Good. And do it again. Yes. When she doesn't break command, I'm going to say yes and reward her. Good girl. Because hey, you might have your dog in command, in a sit or down or whatever, and somebody comes up and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so cute. Right there. No, sit. Good. You're so cute. Right? And you don't want your dog to come out of command just because somebody walks up and is doing the smoochies and, you know, being all talking in an excited voice. Right? Yes. Good girl. No, sit. Good. Good job. So again, every time you hear me say no, I'm pressing and holding that button, and then I repeat the command, and as soon as her bottom goes back into position, I come off the button and say good. Yes. Good job. And again, it's just important to know, it doesn't hurt. It's just a sensation. It's just the same as if I were to, because before this, what I would have said was no and pulled up on the leash. Okay? It's just a physical cue, is all it is. Yes, good girl. We got some distractions going on, so she's doing great. No, sit. Good. Notice I'm not having to use the leash. If I needed to, I would. But she's doing pretty great. Good girl. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. Yes. Good job. All right, so that's it for the intro to the sit with the remote collar. Then I'm going to move on to the down and start her with that too. So, yes, good girl. So if you have questions about this, you can post them in the comment section or email me at info@gooddogcoaching.com, and happy to help you however I can. We're going to move on to the down command.